Warning, brave adventurer. This episode of Echoes of Honor may contain adult language or adult themes. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello everybody. Hello there, and welcome back to the Lost Archives for our very first Cosmere RPG campaign and very first Cosmere RPG session. We are so excited to get into this. I am chomping at the bit, frothing at the mouth. Insert saying of your choice for how excited I am. We are going to be diving in very, very shortly with the published Session 0 adventure called The First Step by Brotherwise Games. I thoroughly recommend running this Session 0 adventure for every campaign you do in Cosmere, and you can do things to adjust it so it's not the same every time. You can do things to change the setting a little bit and change some of the options. This is the gold standard of how to run a Session 0. I thought I had a really cool idea of what to do, and then I got the book, read through it, and went, nah man, this is absolute fire. I am so excited to be diving into this with you. For the characters tonight, for those of you who are watching on Twitch or watching on YouTube, you can already see some little cheats. You can see some character art already. Not a lot, but a little bit of them, as well as the characters' names. But that is all we have prepared for tonight. The players I should say, have picked their characters' general ancestry, their appearance so that I could do the artwork for it, and their names. Nothing else has been picked. If we pull open their character sheets right now, there's a lot of zeros. There's just zeros. There's just zeros on their character sheets. We're going to be filling them in through the course of this Session 0 based on the choices that they make, the decisions that they find themselves in, and the successes and failures of their roles as we play through tonight's session. So I should really briefly, for those of you who are listening to the podcast, go through really quickly and introduce each of the players who is joining us tonight. We will be introducing their characters in a moment once we start the campaign. But for now, could I please get, as I do a little quick hello, could you say a hello? Josh, welcome back from RollTogether RPG. Hello.
Hello. I'm also part of the Lost Archives now because I've been here for too long. I claim squatters' rights.
I was just about to say, is this a squatters' rights situation? I looked into the legality of getting him evicted. It's going to cost more. It's just going to cost too much. It's not even worth it. And I'd have to send them over to England. And they just said, nah, not doing it. No jurisdiction. So yeah, we are stuck with Josh for the time being. Matt, hello and welcome back.
Hello. Good to be back.
Very excited to have you joining us for Cosmere. I know we're going to lose you for a couple of weeks when you head off to Japan in a few weeks.
Yes, in a few weeks.
Stoked that you can join us for our Session 0 tonight.
Yeah, very excited. It's gonna be awesome. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And you're a big fan of the Cosmere, so I think out of the people here, there's 4 of us who are really, really big Cosmere fans, and 3 of us who are kind of new to the Cosmere, which is perfect actually. I'm going to be doing everything I can to explain each thing that we come across in detail as if you were a layperson. However, I can thoroughly recommend appearing in that top right-hand corner there, a little video that I have made, which should give you a bit of an introduction to the Cosmere and specifically to the world of Roshar, if you need it. I do recommend it. There's a couple of things that are in that'll be very, very helpful if you're unfamiliar with the world setting of Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive. Tom, hello and welcome back.
Hello. What I say, moderately seasoned D&D player, run one campaign and been in offline ones with Harrison and Curse of Strahd with yourself.
You've played a bit of Pathfinder too, haven't you?
Yeah, that's the one that has runs.
Yeah, exactly. So you've experienced other RPGs. This is very similar. This is very similar to other RPGs. It's a D20 system, so you're not going to see anything too crazy. There are some really cool things like plot dice, which we will explain as we encounter them. But very excited to have you back joining us once again, Tom. And has a perfect segue. Harrison, I have finally managed to fit your correct and full name on the overlay. You are Harrison forevermore. You have earned your full name once again, sir, for completing Curse of Strahd. Congratulations.
What a reward. Thank you.
Your name back. You're another big Cosmere fan and familiar with a number of different RPGs, so I don't think you'll be too put out by anything here, but you and we're going to have to be very careful with spoilers because some of our friends here are not so familiar with Cosmere, specifically the later books of Roshar.
I've read the exact time period that we're
You didn't reread the books in preparation for this?
I reread them in preparation for Rhythms of War coming out, so I reread the
And
entire
Wind and
Cosmere
Truth.
for that. So
Yeah.
I didn't reread for Wind and Truth, unfortunately.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
But so I've got almost two full rereads of the Cosmere, but this exact time period I'm not sure. So if I do jump into spoilers,
I'll jump in. I'll let you know. Yeah. I think we'll be okay. For someone who hates spoilers, these segues are flawless. It's almost like we planned this. For a man who hates spoilers more than any other I've ever met, Raph, welcome back to the Lost Archives.
It's me. What an introduction.
Is it incorrect?
No, I hate them. Don't ruin the story for me. I am nearly at the end of book 3, so I'm way ahead of where we would need to be.
Oh man, there's really not many spoilers that we can give you now to upset you. Like if you're balls deep in Oathbringer, there's not much Hazard I can say that'll confuse you or make you angry.
And the area I'm up to, there's a lot of balls. They're
yes. Yeah. Good reference. I like that. Very funny. Welcome back.
Most of you would know me. Hello, it's me.
It's Raph. Raph has joined us for Curse of Strahd and is joining us now. And also jumped in for a good chunk of Tyranny of Dragons as well as the Tabaxi Necromancer Shivers. So it is good to have you back once again. Regular of the Lost Archives now, Raph.
Yes, I guess I am. This is... Yeah, wow, cool. Let's do it again.
Absolutely. And relative newcomer to the Lost Archives, but also balls deep in the Cosmere. Ash, thank you for joining us once again. See, Raph, your introduction could have been way worse.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to claim that title. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've only been reading the books for a few years, but very obsessively. I just finished Oathbringer a few weeks ago, and very happy that I'm sitting slightly more comfy in the text now. Looking forward to it. I heard being on stream is a great way to get channel points. So, and I heard that if we are on stream long enough, Owen's paying us. So there was talk about that recently.
Right. That last bit's definitely not true.
No, I'm pretty sure there was discussion about us being super legitimate. So
this is news to me too. What's going on?
Yeah.
No, I think it was something to do with sponsorships coming through and how equity share. No, it was exposure. That's what it was.
I expose myself to them once we wrap up. That's how we do things. So we're ready to rock and roll with our session. Stream. That's a different stream. Dungeons & Dragons After Dark.
Look, I've been trying to bully him to a hot tub stream since I started playing, and he's just not come to the table.
Correct. I haven't been able to acquire a hot tub, which is a real downer. Nothing I can do.
You could be in a hot tub right now. Like, we can't see below your legs. Below your...
I'm in a hot tub right now. So
I was in the jacuzzi for sure. I can see it. That's where the jacuzzi is in the...
That's it. Alrighty. I think we're ready to rock and roll. Now, we're not going to introduce characters just yet. There will be a moment for that very, very shortly. For now, though, we're actually going to jump into the first step. So, I've got a quick introduction for you, and then we will start to find out who your characters are and what has brought them here. It's been weeks since you last saw the wind blades of Kholinar when you joined this caravan and began your travels to the Shattered Plains. Your journey has taken you south through Kholinar and along the Thanadel border before continuing east toward the war camps. You've all heard stories of what awaits you. The full might of the Aelthi High Princes brought to bear against the Parshendi, these strange warrior Parshmen. Looking over the Parshmen's slaves travelling along behind the caravan, your mind can't help but wonder how different these Parshendi must be. The slaves could not look less threatening. Their shorter stature, marbled skin patterns, and slow movements so familiar to you. The war, or Vengeance Pact as the Aelthi call it, has been going on for many years now, ever since the assassination of the Aelthi King Gavilar, the act of which the Parshendi claimed credit for. Reflecting back on the event now, it still seems strange. The night of a treaty being signed between the Aelthi and Parshendi, and they suddenly kill the king. As the caravan continues on, a small protruding rock bumps the wheel and draws you out of your reverie. Looking toward the horizon, you once again check for signs of an oncoming high storm, the last one rolling across the land about 3 days prior. With each step taking you further east, you can feel the intensity of the storms increasing. Huddled in the protected wagon, which was taking shelter beneath a rock overhang, the last storm had sent massive boulders crashing across the desolate landscape, one unlucky chull taken out at some point during the deluge. The remaining 3 chulls, large horse-sized crustaceans with a rocky carapace, still pull the wagon ever onward, their slow pace at times comforting and at other times frustrating. As the sun begins to set behind you, the leader of the caravan, Bright Lady Raladat, calls for a stop. The noblewoman has been keeping apart from the rest of the caravan on this journey so far, only calling out to bark orders to High Prince Bethab's soldiers on occasion. Dressed in smart uniforms of burnt orange and crimson, these men have demonstrated a generally professional demeanor throughout the journey so far. As the caravan slows to a stop in a nearby ravine, the landscape here is beginning to resemble the fragmented canyon-like appearance of the shattered plains. As you move to help with unpacking the supplies, setting up a fire, or getting the campsite ready, we are now going to look through each of your characters. So, what I'm going to do is go to each of you in turn and have you introduce your character by name, describe their appearance, and we don't have to worry too much now about what might have brought you here. But if you could also let us know your general ancestry for the moment, that will be a really awesome start. So, I guess the only question I have is who would like to go first? Everyone's refusing to make eye contact with me except for Raph. Hello, Raph. Would you like to tell us about your character, please?
I would. So I am playing Bright Lady Neivien. She is a... Where is she from? Oh, where is she from? I forgot.
Yarkavad. She's from the Vedan province.
That's right. She's Vedanar. She is a bright lady. She is being attacked by a cat.
You watch as a small Kremling, a tiny crustacean-like creature, climbs up onto the caravan's borders near Neivien, who brushes it off quite forcefully, the tiny crustacean skittering across the ground before scurrying away under a rock.
She wears very proper clothing, but definitely for traveling. She's got quite high-cut boots. She wears a very, I suppose you'd almost call it simplistic for what it is, skirt traveling up to an underblouse and the top part of a dress, and it's all quite dark blues and purples and gold. She's got her safe hand covered with a glove, and on her wrist she has a some sort of a device that looks almost like a small clock.
Perfect. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the Stormlight archive setting, in a number of lands in the world of Roshar, those with lighter coloured eyes are seen as greater or more deserving than those with darker coloured eyes. The term Bright Lady or Bright Lord used to describe someone with lighter eyes. The safe hand is the left hand, which in Vorin, or the Church of Vorin theology, must be covered at all times, lest men see the safe hand, which is the left hand in this case. And yeah, your dress, for the if any of you end up getting a bit of proficiency in fashion or understanding high fashion in high society, Neivien's clothing is more utilitarian, not as fashionably cut. Looks to be probably from some slightly older fashion styles. Would that be fair to say, Raph? Maybe a few seasons out of date.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. And the artwork is up on the right-hand side of your screens right now. It has been the whole time. Tom, would you like to introduce Miki next? You are the closest in proximity geographically, the Unkalaki, to the Vedans, so I think it makes sense for you to introduce your character next.
The most striking feature of this late 30s man is his glistening orange hair, and then the stream of it that goes down to the top of his cheeks. It's a feature that is very often drawn to him whenever he's in new places. He accompanies that with a fairly strong build. Being a horn eater, Unkalaki, he's known for for their strength typically. Also donned in like a somewhat traditional Unkalaki green cloth. Some of the rune work or glyphs that are associated with the clan are sort of drawn upon it. And you have, I'd say, practical clothes work beneath the cloth, and fairly well fitted and worn boots, but still quite well well fitted. The demeanor is fairly like nonchalant. He's pretty serious. He's not taking part in too many silly activities. He's being straight shooting. That's what you've seen so far.
Absolutely. Hailing from the mountains bordering Yarkavad and Aelthi, the Unkalaki or Horn Eaters live at the tops of these mountains in hot springs formed in the caldera of long extinct volcanoes. Well, I shouldn't say long extinct. They're still active enough to create hot springs. So long erupted volcanoes, shall we say. So you are dressed in very, probably more heavy garb than a number of the people around you who are not so used to the climate that you are from, Miki. Both the cold and the warmth, quite well acquainted with both. Alrighty.
Absolutely.
Seeing as we've mentioned Alethkar, Ash, would you like to introduce your character?
I'd love to. This is Alaran. He is from Southern Alethkar, wearing the same colours that you see on Bright Lady Rallanat with the orange and crimson. Is that right? No, brown and
yeah,
orange?
burnt orange and crimson. Yeah.
And on his right shoulder, you see the glyph of the Bethab princedom on his fine waistcoat. It's done up. He looks prim and proper, but what you probably notice most about him is this is a boy. This is a young man that is wearing the finery of a man, but he's not filling it out, and it is cut to his fit. This is his clothing, but he doesn't wear it with confidence, and his attention is not on certain members of the caravan. His attention is on Bright Lady Rallanat and trying to present himself to be seen in that way as a person of significance, but I don't think that it is a convincing veneer. Beneath it, you see he has a traditional like Alethkar like shirt beneath this tunic, and then he wears a simple dress, but more a not a fighter. This is like a military coat, perhaps, but not of somebody who has seen battle, and he is not someone who looks like he can handle himself outside of a social setting.
Yeah, it's a very fashionable suit designed to echo remnants of a military nature, but not, in terms of battle, does not look very practical, shall we say. And maybe he's committing the faux pas of like doing up too many buttons or something because he thinks it looks better, whereas in combat that would restrict your movements. There's all these little hints that, yeah, this is a boy wearing the clothing of a man, shall we say. A military man.
Yeah, and I think his eyes are the thing that he wears most confidently, and those only make eye contact with those of light eyes. Any other thing is a look at somebody else working, but he will not give time and attention to those that are not his seniors.
No, absolutely. Alrighty. Matt, would you like to introduce your character and describe them, please?
Absolutely. My character's name is Rav, or Rav-eth. Rav-eth is a Natan character, so hailing from the region formerly known as Natan. Yeah, a bit of a nomadic spirit, traveling the realm of Rashar, going to Thalath and some of those other magic cities, not really tethered down to anywhere in particular, but very much interested in their culture and also, I suppose, the ancient Natan kingdom. So sort of charting some of those borders and trying to understand their culture a little bit. But yeah, sort of adorned with this sort of more, I guess, tribal sort of garb, probably not as put together perhaps as Ash's character, but a little bit more cultural in that regard. Yeah.
We should say physically the most striking feature of those from Natan.
Yeah, the pale skin is a dead giveaway of
pale blue skin.
Pale blue. And also, I would say the white sort of billowing hair, which Rav-eth sort of wears, I guess, like sort of tied back into these like almost like these dreadlocky sort of braids of hair that sort of spring out from his from their hair. I should mention like they're they them sort
very
of more
androgynous,
androgynous in their appearance, I should say. But yeah, sort of youngish, sort of I guess sort of nomadic spirits, so kind of wishing to travel the world and understand not only their culture but others as well.
Yeah, so Natan, for those who are unfamiliar with the world of Roshar, is far to the east, near the origin of storms. The high storms that sweep across the land every few days or so, normally every sort of 5 to 7 days, originates to the east of the continent. So Natan, or New Natan, is the first place where the storm hits land and makes landfall. The Natanan people, as a result, are quite rugged, quite used to the storm, and their clothing reflects their ancestral origins. Once a mighty empire that has now fallen, Natan is still a seat of some power and influence, especially for trading. Anyone who wants to access from north to south by boat has to kind of go through it. They're heading east, has to go through Natan to shelter from the high storms. But yeah, it's interesting feature, very different from all the other humans on Roshar. Natanans have this light blue skin, shock of white hair, and they claim in their histories it's because their queen once laid with the moon, the blue moon Nomon. So, our final character. Oh no, that's not true. We do have 2 more. I have completely lost count. I was pausing, waiting for the dramatic moment where Haz would return right on time. But actually, we're going to jump to Josh first. Sorry, Haz. Josh, I want to finish with yours, Haz, for obvious reasons. Josh, could you please tell us about your character? Another traveler, another wanderer.
Another wanderer. The first thing that you notice about my character, the sort of starking thing, is that he has very white eyebrows. They're not as long as other Thelans, but he keeps them short and bushy because he is a sailor and a merchant. Coming from the land of Thelana, he has... The other thing would be the bustling chest hair that is sort of poking out of his very open sailorish-esque coat he's wearing. And he has lots of white hair on his arms and things like that. It's quite burly, lots of calluses on his hands. He's basically like a roadie. He gets employed a lot to help people travel around and help unload carts and all of that sort of stuff. He always has a smile on his face, and his hair is short jet black with dyed red streaks in it because he thinks that's fashionable.
And in Thelanar, it is actually quite fashionable at the moment to dye sections of your hair. The only unfashionable thing about you compared to other Thelanars, Gark, is your eyebrows, which you keep cropped short. At the moment, it is very fashionable in Thelanar. So Thelans, for those who are unfamiliar with the world of Roshar, the features that define them from other humans is their hair, specifically their eyebrows, which grow extremely long, almost like head hair, and grow to become white as soon as they sort of exit the forehead region. At the moment, a lot of Thelanars, especially the younger Thelanars, have started to braid their eyebrows and wax them into shapes and designs. Some into lightning that wraps around the head, some into spiral patterns, others into horns almost, like waxing the eyebrows into make these horn-like structures, which they sometimes will dye or position in certain positions. Gark is keeping his very short, very utilitarian approach, but quite unlike a lot of your countrymen at the moment. At the moment, it is very fashionable to wax these intricate patterns and designs into your eyebrows. For you, Gark, out on the ocean, it's just a headache.
He has a very funny story that he likes to tell anybody and anybody who asks about his eyebrows. He has a very funny story that he likes to tell where he did used to have them quite long. They used to go down to about his mid-stomach area. I should say he's also quite a heavy-set character, but sort of like almost athletically heavy-set. So quite rotund, but athletically, if that makes sense.
Powerfully built.
and he-
Bit of a barrel build, shall
Powerfully
we say.
Yeah. But he has a funny story that he likes to tell people where he had these long eyebrows. He was on the high seas just after the remnants of the high storm. The winds were still quite high in the sky, and he just kept getting whipped in the eyes by his eyebrows. He's like, no, but I need to cut these short.
Yeah, 100%. Alrighty. Our final character, and the only non-human we have playing with us for the moment, for there are 2 humanoid intelligent species on Roshar, humans and singers. Harrison, would you like to tell us about your singer character?
I would. So I would just. Sorry, I had to duck off a baby. So
No,
how much
physical
backstory are we doing?
description, very light backstory. For the moment, obviously, your character art does not reflect the garb that you are wearing, which we should explain. So maybe let's focus on, how you appear at the moment, and we'll focus on that. Focus on appearance more than anything else.
So Ztar is, like Owen said, one of the singers, the humanoid races on Roshar. So given the high stormy nature of the place, a lot of the fauna are carapace based creatures. So we've seen the chulls already. And the singers are somewhat like that, like humanoid, but with some carapace growing out of them. But as we meet Ztar right now, I'd be looking more similar to one of the other Parshmen trudging along right now, rather than what my artwork would look like on screen right now. Just by the slightly debonair clothes he has there. Right now he's in probably closer to rags, probably even more so than the other Parshmen trudging along. But the Parshmen are universally slaves across Roshar. They are expensive slaves. So they're usually reasonably well kept. But Ztar looks like he's been roughed up a little more than his fellows along the way. So he's dressed in the equivalent of a burlap sack, with at most very mild carapace and red and white marbled skin. The one thing that sets him more apart from the others is on top of his head is a fairly roughed up, squashed down felt hat that is barely clinging to life, stuck to his head.
Yeah.
But aside from that, for now, he would have been keeping to his own company somewhat, and looking as much as possible like a Parshmen.
Yeah, so we should touch on that a little bit. I mentioned during the introduction that the Parshmen across Roshar, the vast majority are used as slaves. Parshmen stand a little bit shorter in stature than humans, often bald with little areas of carapace or black or red hair strands growing. Their skin is white with marbled red, black patterns, and their eyes are black on black. So black iris, black pupil, and black sclera, making them very alien looking compared to the humans. Parshmen are very compliant, very quiet. Most humans on Roshar would see them as slow of wit. However, the Aelthi are currently locked into a currently never-ending conflict with warrior Parshmen far to the east in the Shattered Plains, which is where you are headed for. And the stories of these Parshmen are very different. These Parshendi, or in Aelthi, Parshmen who can think. It is as insulting as it sounds. You get garbed in carapace armor, taller than a man. These Parshendi are a fighting force, a threat Aelthi. And the Aelthi have been locked in a stalemate with these warriors on the Shattered Plains. The slaves, the Parshman slaves who are traveling with your caravan, there are 9 of them total, including Ztar. None of you would have paid any more, most likely would have paid any more than a passing thought to the Parshman. The hat would have definitely caught your eye. It is very unusual to see Parshman clinging to possessions, and it does sound like Ztar is quite attached to his hat. You would have made sure to keep it safe during high storms or if winds came along. I'm guessing, Harrison, that would be very Ztar.
Very accurate.
Yeah.
And unlike them, he would have had some Ztar would stick out as different from them, but not so much so that you would assume that he was not a Parshman.
Yeah. He looks like a strange Parshman, but not that strange, and certainly not reminiscent of the stories of these enormous hulking warrior Parshmen. None of that's happening. You're not thinking of any of that. For those of you who are familiar,
he's not holding off the greatest fighting force on Roshar.
No,
he's just not.
Yeah, the unkillable Aelthi war machine. For those of you who are familiar with the Stormlight Archive series, I believe you are currently in work form, Harrison. Correct?
Yes.
For now. That won't mean much to the rest of you. We will talk about the forms later. But out of everyone here, I've had to do a composite artwork for Harrison's character because his form may change and shift through the campaign. And as we meet certain requirements, there may be new versions of his artwork we get to see as time goes on. But for now, we're working with the composite artwork. Perfect. The last thing I'll need from each of you is what you would all be doing, and feel free to just jump in at this point as the caravan slows to a stop. I'll read this a little bit again just to get you back in the visual moment. As you settle in, the only sounds... I'll go back a little bit further. Looking up at the high stone walls on either side, you can see the logic in camping in the ravine here immediately. Shelter from a high storm should one come, or shelter from bandits and deserters, both in plentiful supply out here on the plains. As you settle in, the only sounds you hear are Bethab soldiers' quiet conversation and the soft clicks of dozing chulls. So, while the caravan sets up, and there are about 40 other people with you in this caravan, including the soldiers, including travelers and merchants, feel free to jump in. What would each of you be doing during this period?
While we're bedding down, fiddling with my hat while I think no one's watching. If someone were to catch my eye, I'd probably try and flash them a small smile that kind of zapped on my face. Is like fast enough that you'd be really confused about whether you even saw it from a Parshman or not.
You would not be expecting to see it. Parshmen never smile. They never show anger. They never smile. They are stoic in the face of all. So that would be, I guess that's a good question for everyone else. Would anyone be paying any attention to the Parshman? I'm going to say right now, Ash, you would not be. That's the only person I would give direction to. And probably Raph, Neivien probably
You'd
would
be confused as to why I wasn't bringing you stuff or serving you, I suppose.
Oh, you would know that Parshman needs to be given instructions. They're not bright enough to do stuff on their own. would be Alaran's Alaran's thinking. But yeah, Alaran and Neivien. Alaran and Neivien. I'm probably going to say Alaran definitely no. Neivien is a maybe. So, would anyone be paying any attention to the Parshman?
I think Neivien wouldn't really be paying attention, but would probably be glancing just across to, find which Parshman was setting up the, bedding for the evening, and would probably see that and need to do a double take. And by that point, it's already gone. And she'd probably just be a little bit confused and then just carry on with what she was doing.
Yeah, totally fair. Anyone else? Nope. Doesn't look like it.
I'd be helping them.
You'd be helping them. Gark would go and help the Parshman.
That we could.
Yeah. Okay.
Gark, can you help me set up the end of this caravan, please? That will be very helpful. Thank you very much. I think.
I certainly can help you.
Oh, very
Fantastic.
good. I think the storm, as always, is coming from the east, so it is best that we make sure that side is most fortified. So that's good. Doing a good job.
Yes. Have I ever told you about the time that my eyebrows flicked me in the eye while I was in the middle of a high storm?
Yes, yes, I have heard that one before. You may have shared that once, or I've run out of fingers on my hand.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I was on the ship, and the storm had just passed, and I was looking out to sea, and I tell the story for the 100th time on this journey.
Fantastic. I love that.
Rav
Awesome
is
sauce.
probably Rav is probably watching this from a distance. I imagine sort of sitting on some sort of old crumpled ruin, if there is one, or a rock or something.
This is the very borders of the Shattered Plains, so there are not the deep canyons that you've heard of existing in the Shattered Plains, but the landscape here is broken. There are ravines everywhere. You are currently in a ravine, the sides of which are sort of 40, 50 feet above you. As shelter from the storm. There are broken sections of rock, everything covered in a fine layer of creme Rav-eth that has solidified and hardened. It's been a number of days since the last high storm, so as you take a seat, you watch as a few rock buds pull their fronds back inside their base around you. Tiny motes of life spren rising up, these little green orbs rising up around the rock buds before vanishing as the rock buds pull inside, the life spren vanishing in a moment.
Yeah, Rav has a journal or a book open, and he's kind of sketching down and drawing, and sort of and today, yes, we traveled through into the yes, that's right, and yes, there's many people here, interesting lot.
As you begin to draw, Rav-eth, making your notes, you watch as a few creation spren manifest in the air around you. Tiny little illuminate and luminescent see-through motes of light that take on shapes of things around you. One of them taking on the shape of the cart spinning around itself. Rather than the wheels spinning, the wheels staying completely still and the rest of the cart spinning around the wheel as it flies around your head. Another little creation spren manifesting as your notebook, but rather than the pages flipping past, they will begin to fall out and spiral around each other before slowly vanishing.
Oh, wonderful.
You've drawn creation spren a few times. It seems this is another one of those times as you see one or two.
This does not get old. This is lovely.
Yeah. Perfect. So Gark, Miki, and Ztar are kind of all focusing on setting up the campsite. Ztar, as you work with the other Parshmen, following the directions of the soldiers and Bright Lady Ralanat, it's not too long before the campsite is arranged. The 3 wagons set up to create a bit of a barrier from the east. The ravine that you've chosen, the main wall, the largest wall, is positioned on the eastern side, so you should be fairly protected from the high storms down here. You think it's a fairly safe spot. With the bedrolls all laid out, you can see another Theylan merchant, a woman in a purple havar, sort of long interlaced dress, gives you a bit of an appreciative smile, Gark, as she sees your bare chest on display, tucks one of her eyebrows behind her ears, gives you a bit of a look, and then turns back to her rather austere meal that is being passed out from one of the people cooking. Miki, as you wrap up as well, your very tall, strong stature, quite useful for unloading the water barrels that people can then dip into for fresh water. And Ztar, you sort of moving with the rest of the Parshmen. The other Parshmen give you a bit of a berth, Ztar, not really sure of what to make of you. Would you engage any of them in conversation, or would you have engaged any of them in conversation?
No, for the most part, I'd be trying to blend in, just outside of the small, minor rebellions with a flash or a smile here or there.
Yeah.
I think for the for Rav-eth and Miki, I probably would have held their gaze for a fair bit longer. I don't think either. I don't know about the Natan, but I don't think the Horneaters have many, if any, Parshmen.
I am unaware of the Horneaters having Parshmen slaves, and Natan is a good question. I am unaware if they do. They might not, actually.
I'd assume if they did, they would have come via trade. They would be relatively rare.
Yeah.
Just on a gut feeling that if I'm going to let someone in on what I am and make a little bit better of this situation, the Horneater and the Natan are the ones that I would trust. Whereas the Aelthi, the Vedan and the Theylan, I at most it'd be like the small fucking with their brain smile that I gave Neivien earlier.
Yeah, I mean, if the Theylan is looking at you, Ztar, it's only because he's trying to figure out how much you're worth, right? Like, that's how Thelans think.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to be a bit careful around them. Okay.
I like talking to them. I like talking to the Passion because they normally
can't
talk
run
back,
away.
So I
Yeah,
can
they
just
can't.
tell them all my stories.
They don't leave.
And I would know. As he tells me the
you just zone out.
IRL story, I did.
Yeah, this is audible slave form for you, Ztar. So you just listen to him talk. Neivien and Alaran, if you are not paying attention to the Parshman, and you are not helping set up camp with Miki and Gark, and not drawing and taking notes like Rav-eth is, what would the two of you be doing? Should we go? Let's go ladies first. Neivien, what would you be doing?
I think Neivien would probably be going for a walk.
Yeah, absolutely.
She'd want to be getting out, stretching her legs.
Yeah.
So she's probably going to head down along the canyon a little bit. Not really necessarily looking to take anything in. Just get out, stretch her legs.
Yeah.
Get some of that fresh air into her after being cooped up in the wagons for so long.
As you walk along the borders of the canyon, Neivien, this sort of fissure in the ground that the pathway has led you down into, you can see all manner of kremlings scuttling out of your way. Tiny, fist-sized crustaceans that live all around, all over Roshar. Many of these have little hidey holes in the rock. You watch as a very long, elongated kremling with these very large pincers gazes at you from its little shelf, this little rocky outcropping, warding you off with this one much larger pincer dyed slightly blue, this kind of like electric blue color, as it wards you off as you get a bit close. As you get a little bit further away from camp, you hear the sound of a gentle cough behind you as one of Bethab's soldiers, an archer it looks like, nods towards you. Mistress, Bright Lady, as he bows very deeply. This man has dark eyes. You don't know which Darn he's from. Who cares? His dark eyes. You must head back to camp. We can't protect the borders if you wander too far. Apologies, Bright Lady.
I'm not planning on going too far. I just needed to get away. You know, it's been a long journey so far, and trapped there with everyone. I just needed a moment. I'm not going too far.
I can't let you leave without an escort. Apologies, Bright Lady. Lady Brelanat's orders.
No, fair enough. All right. Just, I don't know. You're an archer, right?
He looks down at the bow and arrows. Very perceptive, Bright Lady.
Shut up. All right. Stay about 10 feet behind me. You can protect me from there.
Of course, Bright Lady. With that, he bows, takes a few steps back. 10 steps back, to be specific.
I can kind of watch him, seeing that he's kept quite literally that distance.
Malicious compliance is in effect here, Neivien.
She'll probably go a little bit further, realize that he quite seriously is just going, and then she'll just turn around in a huff, walk straight past him, almost but not quite, shoulder checking him and heading back.
He backs off immediately. He cannot be accused of assaulting a Bright Lady. Oh, no. He will give you as much berth as he can, backing up into the canyon wall as you push past. You watch as one of the kremlings scuttles out onto his shoulder, and he has to sort of stand there at like not at ease, like attention until you're past. And he brushes this thing off and then begins to follow from a distance.
As she heads back, she'll probably just look down at the fabrial on her wrist just to get a gauge of what time it is as well. Yeah,
it's heading into the evening. The sun sets at the 15th hour. And darkness is from the 15th until the 5th, heading overnight. So it is beginning to set. It is much darker in the canyon, obviously, because you are deep down and the sun is shining over the top. There is a little bit of a light coming in from the west, but not very much. And you can see that it is setting. Yeah, it's approaching the 15th hour, Neivien. It's time to head back and head to bed. Alaran, what would you be doing?
I think that on the kind of settling into this space, Alaran would have come out from the carriage, seen the movement, seen people getting to work, and given some inane directions or instructions to people he has no authority over, and said, "Hurry up, get this stuff done. We need to hurry up with it all, and then literally just gone back inside the caravan cabin or something, closed it, sat down, and he would have been sitting there looking with nothing to do, just in waiting, almost like, I know I don't go and mingle, I sit here, I do what I'm told, and then it might be like, you know, notebooks in this space, and he goes over and he opens it up, and he can't read, so he through the pages and throws the book aside, and he moves around and fidgets and sits there and starts rubbing at his knuckles and joints, and starts to like mutter to himself in impatience of how lazy the help are that are getting them out there, and thinking about everything he needs to get done out here and everything he needs to prove.
Yeah,
and
every day you spend
moment
on this godforsaken walk is a day that you are not spending in the war camps. And I mean, the Aelthi seat of power is in these war camps now. All 10 high princes, including the king, are now essentially permanently on the Shattered Plains fighting in the Vengeance Pact. This is the seat of Aelthi power, and you need to be there. Your family needs you there. Yesterday, a week ago, 3 weeks ago. And this caravan has been slow. Far slower than you were promised when you had a chat with Bright Lady Ralanat. However, she outranks you. She is of the 3rd Narn, while you are of a little bit lower, and you are not in a position to question the actions of Bright Lady Ralanat. Social structure in Alethkar and... Oh yeah, there you go. There you go.
No, I was just going to say that in the moment, I think I've had 1 or 2 moments of trying to interact with her and impress her, and it being a shutdown experience in a way that has left me going, focus on what I'm doing when I'm getting to the plane. Stay out of way. I know how to do this. Be quiet. Don't get in trouble. Impressed when there's an opportunity to present. And I'm sitting there thinking about what I need to do in the planes, but unsure on what that looks like, because the request of me is not something that I think I can do.
Yeah, you know you're not equipped to deal with what your family has asked of you in this moment. It's not happening. Alrighty. As the camp is put together, as you settle down for bed, those of you who sleep soundly, it doesn't take you too long to fall asleep. Those of you who sleep rather fitfully find yourselves slowly beginning to doze off. When you hear a soft thud, followed by a grunt echo through the ravine. Looking around, you spot one of the sentries set up on top of the ravine suddenly pitch forward and drop off the lip high above, his body crashing into the stone right next to one of the wagons with a sickening thud. Sticking from his back is a long arrow fletched with dark brown shalebark leaves. The soldiers nearby spring to life with a cry of "Bandits!" Yellow shockspren suddenly appearing around some of their heads like broken shards of glass. A horn sounds in the east, and as you turn to look, you can see spear infantry streaming down the sides of the ravine. As they descend upon the unprepared soldiers, the aggressors' movements seem too coordinated, too well trained. It's then you realize these aren't undisciplined bandits. These men move with military precision. To the west, arrows whistle towards civilians who clutch their belongings as they run. Many fall, arrow shafts protruding from their backs. Fierce spren seep from the ground, forming purple pools around the boots of the minuscule Bethab military contingent guarding the caravan. Far too few men to defend against this attacking force. Alrighty, welcome to the first of our scenes that takes place. Normally, at this point, I would ask, what do you want to do? But in this session 0, you have no skills, no ancestry, no equipment, nothing. So instead, what I'm going to do is offer you options, and we're going to choose them, go through, and you're going to gain points in certain attributes, lose points in certain attributes, gain resources that you can spend, lose resources by spending them, and very slowly together, we're going to build your characters piece by piece. So, to start off with, there is one thing I need all of you to do. Please set every single attribute score to 1. So, your strength, speed, intellect, willpower, awareness, and presence, please set it all to 1. So your skills, these 6 skills are split into 3 main categories. Your physical, your intellectual or cognitive, and your spiritual, which reflects the 3 realms that exist in all of the Cosmere: the physical, spiritual, intellectual realm, or cognitive realm. Very similar to how in D&D you have stats split between those things, and Pathfinder as well splits them up. In fact, most split them up into these little subcategories. Once you have done that, you will notice a couple of your things on the character sheets, will shift. All of your attributes will have a +1 to their rolls, and in addition, you'll have a bit more defense. And again, with this, you have technically 3 different armor classes if we're comparing this to D&D: physical, cognitive, and spiritual. All of you should now have slightly higher defense than you did a moment ago. I think 12 should be your number for each of you. As you can see, it is the sum of your skills in each area. So, to start things off, this is what we are going to do, is essentially go through some choices, and I'm going to get each of you to pick a option. We'll go one at a time and follow them through, and then at the end, we're going to weave them all back together. So, to start things off, let's go with, let's go in order along the overlay. Josh, Gark, here are your options. Do you A, search your gear for something useful? B, check on the people who are ambushed by the archers? C, grab a weapon and engage the spear infantry? Or D, run towards the center of camp to find Bright Lady Ralanat?
Bright Lady Ralanat is the one that is paying me the spheres to do this, to help with the stuff.
She is not paying you the spheres to help with the stuff. If you're here as a hired hand, she does not interact with you directly. You've been paid by the captain of Bethab's military contingency, so the soldiers. Bright Lady Ralanat seems to have some other function with this caravan you're not sure of. She's a woman of noble stature, clearly high ranking given the way the soldiers respect her, and also the way Alaran, this sort of pesky teenager who's tagged along wearing his dad's coat, he seems to look up to her in a weird sycophantic way. But she's not interacted with you at all. She's kept herself quite apart from the caravan. If you're here as part of the hired help for the caravan, you've either been paid by one of the soldiers or possibly by one of the other merchants to kind of help out.
Okay, so if I've not had much interaction with her, then I would be helping the other people, running around trying to stop people from getting hit by arrows, but sort of getting them to get down and moving them into places of defense, like behind the cart and stuff, and just trying to get people to safety.
Awesome sauce. So in that case, then, it sounds like I'll put the options in so you can all see them in chat and you can go through them at your leisure. Sounds like this is more of a B. Check on the people who are ambushed by the archers.
Yes, 100%.
Awesome. Okay. Here is what we do then, Josh. And actually, before I forget, I've got a new picture to place up on the overlay. Here we go. Caravan attack. So for those of you who are wondering what the fuck a Shockspren is, go watch the video that I talked about at the beginning. Welcome to Roshar. But there is an image of a soldier with Shockspren forming around him. These kind of translucent panes of glass, yellow glass, manifesting in the air around his head, drawn by the emotion he is currently feeling. So, Joshy boy, Gark. I'm going to have to start calling you by your character, so I remember to do that. Some merchants who joined the caravan for protection only yesterday now lie pinned to the ground, their bodies riddled with arrows fletched with brown and red. Now, here is the question. Do you recognize the colors on the arrows? You may pick yes or no, and the outcome will determine some aspect of your character sheet, which I won't tell you until you've picked.
I'd say yes. He's a well-traveled merchant. He's been all over Roshar, so even if he doesn't quite understand the meaning of it,
yep,
he would go, "Oh, that's that thing."
So you've already picked one of your cultural ancestries, which is Theylan. You may now add a second, either Aelthi or Wayfarer. Your choice.
It's going to have to be Wayfarer.
Sweet. The colors that you see on the arrows are very reminiscent of High Prince Thanadel, one of the other Aelthi High Princes. Either these men are deserters who took their equipment, deserters from Thanadel's army, or there's something else going on here, Gark. The High Princes are supposed to be unified under the Vengeance Pact against the Parshendi, but you know infighting still occurs. They're Aelthi. All they do is fight. You think there might be something else going on here, something deeper. So we move on to the next section. So yeah, you can add expertise Aelthi or expertise. Essentially, you can pick another expertise from another culture that you wish to take. In this case, I'm guessing probably Wayfarer makes sense for you. So if you head onto your character sheet, I should talk this through. So expertise is a kind of like little things that you get to roll with. If you go onto your character sheet, you'll see there is a box for expertises in the middle down the bottom. If you click on the plus button there, you can add in extra expertises. None of these are locked in. You can change these at the end. All the decisions that we're going to make during this, you can change at the end. It's not a problem. So Gark, packages once held dear lie scattered, their contents spilled across the dirt. One of the merchants, the Theylan woman that you saw before, lies on the side, coughing blood onto her bright orange dress, the purple underneath. "Help me," she says desperately, blood trickling from the corner of her mouth. Violet fierce-bren globules wriggle around her, and the arrow lodged in her back. Before you can react, a voice yells from the ridgetop, "Archers, ready!" And I'm going to bring open a picture of the Theylan woman. There you go. You get all the pictures tonight. You will see on the Twitch the image of the Theylan woman lying there with the fierce bren coiling around her. Gark, you have 3 options. Would you like to help the woman, grab whatever spilled onto the ground and run before you're the next target, or attempt to ascend the ravine wall to outflank the archers? It is your choice.
I'd help the woman.
Help the woman. Awesome sauce. All right, we will go to B1. You may add a +1 to your awareness or intellect, your choice. You rush to the woman's side to try and help her. So now we reach the next choice. Oh, well, not really a choice. This is actually a... it is a choice. It is a choice. Do you wish to try and tend to her wounds? In which case I will need you to make a medicine check. Or would you like to sit close and spend her last moments with her? Which I will need a leadership test for.
Try to help her, I think.
Alrighty. I'd like a medicine check, please. The DC is 10.
No plot, so I'll just roll.
No plot dice. No plot dice. Yeah.
Natural 1 for a 2.
It's not. Oh, bloody Roll20's lagging out for me. Let me refresh Roll20 so I can see it come up. Is that really a natural 1?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, then, this is also going to arise a complication. So we haven't talked about this yet, but there are plot dice, which we will encounter later. But for the moment, we need to talk about critical successes and critical failures. In Cosmere, a critical success and a critical failure generates something known as an opportunity or a complication. In this case, a natural 1 doesn't just fail, it also introduces a complication that will make it harder for your character on top of things. It's kind of how you do like a critical failure in D&D, but with a little bit more plot-focused information. For you, Josh, as you go to help her, the problem is the arrow in her back, which you immediately remove. It's an arrow in her back. It's a big problem. That needs to come out. The second it does, you watch as her eyes go wide as she calls out. A few pain-spren, these tiny orange hands rising from the ground, grabbing at her, and then suddenly her eyes go dark. As she arches her back, you hear her cry, "The land shatters under their cause. The darkness comes." And then she goes still. You've heard occasionally people in their dying moments speak words of prophecy or words of strange ilk. It seems that in her last moments she has done the same thing. Unfortunately, her cries have alerted the soldiers to your location. As you do what you can, you are unsuccessful. As you look over her, you can see that there are a few things scattered around her hands. You have a moment to try and grab one of them as you leave. I will ask you what the options are. You can tell me which one you would like. A whetstone, a small notebook, a Medal of Valor marked with rank and insignia, a small glass vial with a dose of something inside, and a finely crafted span reed, which is a device you can use to communicate all across long distances, or a fully infused topaz brome, which is a currency worth about 20 marks, or 20 gold if we're working on D&D.
I think I'd grab the notebook.
Grab the notebook.
I'd hope that there was some personal information in there so that I can at least let her family know.
Yes. In that case, then, that is what the notebook is about, some personal information. It is a notebook that she has written about her travels as well as the names of her close families. You may add to your character sheet Theylan Merchant's notebook, and I get to mark down 2 little special things that we will talk about later. Awesome sauce. Okay, so that is the end of your path. Sorry, there's a teensy bit more. I need to go to B4. As you make your way towards the center of the camp, do you salvage a piece of wagon or crate to use as a makeshift shield? Move carefully and quietly from cover to cover, avoiding attention as much as you can. Listen to the battle calls of the attackers and deduce the safest route. Gather a group of survivors around you and shepherd them to safety. Put a storming righteous fear into anyone foolish enough to cross your path. Or watch the Bethab caravan soldiers and civilian movements, finding the right opportunities to slip through the lines and engagements.
I think at this point it would be pick up something to protect myself. If I've alerted them to my presence, I need to now protect myself, so I'll pick something up to use as a shield.
Yeah, 100%. Alrighty. In that case then, you may add a +1 to your strength if you wish. Well, let me rephrase. Add a +1 to your strength. There's no wish about it. Add a +1 to your strength. Alrighty, and I need to mark off something else for you as well. Awesome. Okay, that is all marked off. Cool. Alrighty. Next up, who would like to go next? Let's do. Sorry, let me get my thing back open. Let's do Matt next. Let's go in order. Let's go in order as we go across the top. Matt, out of those 4 options I said before, which would you like to do?
At the very beginning of the thing?
Search your gear for something useful, check on the people who are ambushed, grab a weapon and engage the spear infantry, or run towards the center of camp to find Bright Lady Rav-eth.
Yeah, I don't think Rav would really be looking for the Bright Lady, considering, they're not that close to the Aelthi sort of social structure. They're aware of it, but not, not cognizant of that. So I think Rav, being sort of the crafty individual that they are, is going to probably go through their gear to see if there's anything that could help. Something maybe they've gathered from their travels or something.
Awesome sauce. Alrighty, so as you go through your gear, you quickly rummage through your gear and grab the first thing you find. What is it? A weapon, a long-distance communication tool called a span reed, a roll of tools, a small technological device called a fabrial, a document, or a medical kit?
Ooh, I think it will be a medical kit in this case.
Medical kit. Okay, that is going to be A6. Bear with me as I scroll through. You open the medical kit and give it a once-over, taking stock of your supplies. Could you please increase your intellect or presence by 1? It is your choice.
Ooh, okay.
If you wish.
I don't really.
If you wish. So, what kind of things comprise your kit, Rav-eth? Anatomical drawings and medical texts, herbs and poultices, scalpels, forceps and sewing needles, or tinctures for sedating and disinfecting?
Ooh. What were the options again? Sorry.
Anatomical drawings, herbs and poultices, scalpels, forceps, and sewing needles, or tinctures for sedating and disinfecting.
Being nomadic in nature, not really being able to settle down in any one place, I think there would be probably herbs and poultices.
Alrighty.
In this pack.
Please increase your survival by 1, and by doing that, you just click on the little icon next to it, and that'll give you a +1. And I will add something special for you as well.
Ooh, okay. So survival in the bottom of the.
So if you open up your character sheet, you'll see that you've got some skills. If you have a look at survival, which will be underneath awareness and presence, if you click on the little box there, like I've just done, you'll notice that's just increased. It'll black it out on the little box to the right of it. That gives it a +1. So in this case, click on that. We'll give you a +1 to that. So now you have a 2 every time you roll that.
And then the little box is lit up.
Exactly. The character sheet, I'm not going to lie, is actually pretty easy to use in Roll20.
I like it.
Demiplane's even better, but for now, we're using the Roll20 character sheet. Awesome sauce. And I've marked off a little special extra thing for you. So next up, we need to keep going through. Sorry, bear with me. I've got to pull open what we were. As a surgeon, doctor, or apothecary, what are you best known for? An extensive knowledge of medical procedures, professionalism and level-headedness, an uncanny ability to diagnose with incomplete information, or an incredible bedside manner?
Probably to diagnose. I would imagine that Rad is pretty perceptive and can kind of, has a unique view on the world, very perceptive, like wanting to sort of record most things that they see. So I think they're able to sort of deduce sort of like, I guess, symptoms and ailments with limited knowledge that perhaps others might not be able to safely sort of come to that same conclusion.
Can you please give yourself a +1 to awareness?
Amazing.
Now that you have your kit and your expertise returning to you after that moment of panic, where are you headed? Are you headed to tend to the fallen Bethab caravan soldiers to the east? Are you heading to tend to the fallen civilians struck by arrows? Are you headed to gather more medical supplies from the caravan? Or are you trying to organize those around you to bring the wounded into the cover of the wagons?
I think that Rav would probably see the civilians and try and help them first.
Perfect. Alrighty. Let me pull that open and I'll tell you what happens. So, helping up the civilians. Could you please give yourself +1 agility and then make me a agility test? It is a DC 10.
That'd be speed.
Yes, it'll be under speed. Yes. So if you have a look at your agility is the top one underneath speed.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give myself that +1.
Oh, just click on the little box like I did before. Just like that.
Oh, yeah, got it. It just wasn't coming up. So how do I do the test now?
Just click on agility, click on the number, click on the text that says agility and then in speed brackets, and it should immediately roll it.
Oh, cool. All right.
It's pretty straightforward, thankfully.
Oh, it says roll the plot die?
Don't roll the plot dice for the moment. We'll talk about the plot dice later.
I will. Okay, great.
I can't believe our very first roll of this campaign, of this system, of everything, was a natural fucking 1.
I click agility and then it says roll the plot die.
You should be able to just click no. Let me have a quick peekaroo.
Let's go press submit.
Oh, yeah, submit. Yeah. It should say no.
Whoa!
And the second roll is a natural 20.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah!
What? It is. It's a natural fucking 20.
That's crazy!
Jesus. Okay, welcome to the Lost Archives. This is how we roll. This is how we do it.
That's
50-50. It either happens or it doesn't. Okay.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, talk me through. How do you avoid volleys of arrows and pull the casualties to safety? Talk me through what, like, the natural 20, and I'm going to add something else for that because it is so good.
Great question. Rav kind of shakes off the fear, the initial sort of shock of the attack, and then gets his gear, goes into his bag, sort of finds the poultices, the herbs, the different bits and pieces that he's been carrying around with him to sort of help himself, but also to help other people that he's seen in his travels. He sees like a volley of arrows just sort of take out a couple of hapless citizens that are sort of just in the camp, taken unawares, and kind of like he pauses momentarily and sort of like waits for like the rhythm of the arrow attacks, and as there's sort of like a bit of a as the arrows hit, there's a pause. Arrows hit, he realizes that there's a pattern, and so he uses this to his advantage to try and like sort of close the distance between him and the civilians. He gets within that sort of like using cover, using his surroundings to sort of try and not get hit by any arrows himself. Manages to get, I guess, to the civilians and starts to drag a few of them off, like out of the way, as arrows, using the pausing in between the volleys to sort of try and get as many civilians as he can out of the firing line and into relative safety to try and, I guess, tend to some of their wounds as best he can, or they can.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Okay, let's go through, as that is a success, 100%. Bear with me, sorry, I've got to find where I was up to. The one problem with this is that you have to often go looking for things very, very... All right, perfect. Please gain the equipment, surgical supplies. And then that is the end of your introduction, Matt. Next up, we have Tom. Tom, or should I say Miki. We have those 4 options. You may pick the same as other people before you. They branch off in a lot of different ways. As you can see, there are many, many different pathways that we can take.
I think some old habits would kick in here. There's the stream and cluttering of armor going nearby. Looking around, north and west is completely covered. Maybe the south is looking a bit more defendable. He's grabbing the closest thing and goes that way.
Grab a weapon, engage the spear infantry is what I'm hearing, correct?
That's right.
Alrighty, let's go to C. Miki. This is very important. You are sort of acting on instinct here outside what you would normally do, but you are very quick. Please increase your strength or speed by 1.
That'll be some extra strength.
Perfect. Wielding one of the long sticks the Chull drivers use to prod the docile beasts of burden along, you stand fast. Do you urge the Bethab caravan soldiers to fight, or move behind your compatriots to lash out with the whip-like stick and knock the enemy spears off target?
Going to take option number 1 there.
Urge the Bethab caravan soldiers to fight. Please increase your leadership by 1, or click on the little first circle on the right-hand side of the leadership skill, and then can you make for me a leadership test? This is a DC 10.
All right, I've clicked the button and roll plot dice. No. Submit. That'll be a 6.
6. That is a fail. Your defensive line cracks and the attackers pour in among your faltering ranks. Please decrease your strength by 1, and I need to reduce something else by 1. I told you.
Shit.
This is serious business. This introduction. No dicking about. Despite your brave efforts, Miki, the enemy soldiers gain ground, rarely giving any. You're able to grab a weapon from one of your fallen allies. Do you grab a dagger, a short bow, a short spear, or a side sword?
I'm going to go with the short spear.
Short spear. Alrighty. Short spear. Please give yourself a +1 to your willpower. Now, you are not Aelthi, so I'm automatically going to answer this question for you. You may add Aelthi experience if you like. However, you can also add expertise of any other culture instead. So essentially, you can add cultural expertise from any of the cultures that you wish.
Sure.
You don't have to pick this now. We can mark it off as a question mark later. if you would like to.
Yep.
Alrighty, and I need to mark something else for you as well, Tom, really quickly. Brilliant. And also, in your equipment, please gain a short spear. If you would like a hand at adding this, let me know. I can add it for you.
I'll figure that one out. It should be all right.
No dramas. It should automatically have the stats for it. If you need them, let me know and I can give it to you. Except we're not, I mean, you don't need it right now. We won't be using them in this combat, but in combat later we will. So we'll make sure you have it before the end.
Sure, yeah.
Now, do you, with your equipment, with your weapon, do you hold the line as long as you can, letting the slower and less trained retreat first? Organize a measured withdrawal, leaping to the defense of those who stumble, or break from the lines and run as soon as you see an opportunity?
I'm going to hold the line.
Hold the line.
Yeah, trying to hold the line.
Perfect. Please give yourself a +1 to discipline. And I need to mark off 2 things for you. And tenacity. Don't worry about that. I didn't say that out loud. Perfect. Tom, that is all we have for you. Harrison!
G'day.
Hey, sexy.
How you doing?
I'm good. Have you picked your options? You had some time.
I have.
Sickness. Let's go.
Although, yeah, we'll see how they go with that. But I'd probably take option 3. I'd
grab a weapon, engage the spear infantry.
Yes, but
yeah,
the approach I would be taking would be kind of the equivalent of acting dumb and sticking my leg out to trip people over and trying to I would still be, with how I've gotten to this point, I would be incredibly apprehensive to let people know that I'm not a parchment. So I would pick up something to defend myself, but the engagement would be as subtle as I could make it. I don't know if there's an option for that. But after hearing Tom's,
I can work with that. I can work within the realm of that. I'll have to. I mean, I'm not very good at improvisation, but we'll see how we go. Hey, if
you want me to hold the line, I can hold the line.
It's all good. I need you to hold the door specifically. Perfect. Now we can work with that.
The caveat to that is at a point where if the choice came down to people dying, or me maintaining my cover,
maintain cover.
I would break the cover to defend people.
Awesome sauce. Similar to before, rather than you picking up a chull stick to help guide the caravan, you instead move around with the other parshmen who are cowering behind the rocks nearby, keeping out of the line of soldiers, knowing that they will be ignored in this conflict. You, however, take a different tactic. Knowing that you will be ignored by the soldiers gives you a bit of an advantage, and as you begin to rush about, looking like you are confused and merely trying to get out of the way, you are able to try and trip up some of the soldiers. My question to you is, are you, holding your ground, going back into the shadows, hoping that they don't spot you in the melee, or retreating to the center of camp?
So hold, retreat to shadows, or retreat to center. I'd probably hold. I'd say I'd even probably take something similar to the chull stick. That's something that I could be holding as a parchment, and then just like dragging behind me, trip someone.
Turn around, comically knock him. Yeah. Awesome sauce. Okay, in that case then, could you please give yourself a... oh no, sorry, they're both for me. Sorry, let me do them. They're both for me to do. Let's see, protection. You are player 1 for this. Don't worry about that. Alrighty, so let me quickly pull that open. Go to C1. Wielding one of the long sticks, very similar to Miki. You stand fast. Now, I'm guessing in this case you're not urging the Bethab caravan soldiers to fight. Instead, you're moving behind your compatriots to lash out with the whip-like stick and knock enemy spears off target.
Yes.
Sweet. Brilliant. Can you please give yourself a +1 to intimidation and make an intimidation check?
Cool. Did I get a physical, cognitive, or spiritual?
You got a secret thing.
Okay.
You will get something else. Oh, sorry, no. Apology. You do also get +1 to strength or speed. Sorry, I did actually miss that. You do get one.
Cool.
And
then
then
I remember one. Yeah.
No. You do. It's +1 to strength or speed, and then you get a +1 to intimidation, and then I need you to make me an intimidation check, and I need to mark another thing for you.
Hot 8.
Hot 8. DC is 10. So what is going on? This does make sense, though, in the context of what we're talking about. Your actions are ignored, and the attackers continue their grisly work, cutting into your compatriots, paying no heed to the Parshmen fighting alongside them. Despite your brave efforts... Oh, sorry, you also lose 1 willpower. Despite your brave efforts,
Lame.
it can't be reduced below 0. So if it's already at 0, just leave it at 0.
No, it was not. I had everything at 1 as well.
Oh, that's right, you had everything at 1. Yep. Despite your brave efforts, the enemy soldiers gain ground, rarely giving any. You're able to grab a weapon from one of your fallen allies. Dagger, shortbow, short spear, side sword.
Probably dagger.
Dagger. Please increase your intellect by 1.
All right.
And I need to mark off another special thing for you on the special tracking sheet that I have. And you can add a dagger to your inventory as well. Add it to your equipment that you are now wielding. And you may also answer for me. Do you hold the line as long as you can, organize a measured withdrawal, or break from the lines and run as soon as you see an opportunity? And by organizing a measured withdrawal, what we might do for you is, rather than organizing a measured withdrawal, you begin to interpose yourself in the combat, getting in the way of the Thanadel soldiers, allowing the other soldiers to flee, knowing that you're too expensive to be worth cutting down. Like, the soldiers know that if they kill Parshmen, I mean, that's pay doc. So the Thanadel soldiers do not want to kill you.
Yeah, probably that. Then, seeing that the line was breaking, my boys aren't holding this for long. I'd just start going full obstruction, give them as much chance to pull back as possible, and then scoot on out of there.
You watch as one of the Bethab soldiers, the ones that you've travelled with, looks towards you, limping away, a large gash along his leg. You can see a few Orspren lighting up around next to him as he seems really confused and somewhat impressed with this sudden Parshman jumping into their defense. This little ripple of blue smoke spreading above his head. To your eyes, you see it as a floating blue ball that approaches the individual from afar. You see Spren a little bit differently to the humans, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, as you watch these little Orspren gather, the warrior looks to you, the soldier looks to you, sort of limping away, goes, "I've never seen a Parshman fighter. Thank you." Genuinely catching your eye and thanking you. His eyes are sort of a light hazel. He looks like he'd be a high-ranking light eyes or a very low-ranking dark eyes. At this point, it's hard to tell. The eye color doesn't help you out too much. Oh, not that you would care anyway, Ztar. It's just some human thanking you. That's it. You get to add a skill. You get a +1 skill to light weaponry or heavy weaponry. Your choice.
I will take that. I would add that the eye color is actually something that I would probably be paying pretty close attention to.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
I would have picked up on it. It would have initially been a mystery, but by now that is something I would be very
these humans really care about it for some reason. Most of them. Yeah. Awesome sauce. That is the end of your journey for the moment. We will come back to you in a second. Let's go to Neivien. Raph. You've seen the options. What would you like to do?
I think Nivein's probably going to... she'd be searching through her pack. She knew that coming out here was going to be dangerous.
I really wanted you to search through your pack because I already know what Ash is going to do, and it works really well if the last one is check on Bright Lady Ralanat. it just flows really well if that's the last option, which is why I have deliberately structured in this particular order. Thank you, Raph. You were the one wild card I was like, oh, you might check on it. So as you go through your pack, as you rummage through your gear, what do you find? A weapon, a span reed, a roll of tools, a fabrial, a document, or a medical kit? Oh, I know what you're going to pick. Fabrial. Yeah, cool. Yeah, cool. A 4 for you, my friend. Add a +1 to your intellect or willpower, your choice. You search frantically, sighing in relief when you come upon the small fabrial. It may be simple, but it has great meaning to you. The gemstone caged within the wireframe glows, charged with stormlight. Where did you get this fabrial? Did you help your mentor build it? Did you scavenge it from a caravan that had been destroyed in a high storm? Did someone you respect award it to you for a job well done? Did you steal it? Did you win it in a game of breakneck? Or did you get it for an incredibly good price?
Option 1.
Option 1, you helped your mentor build it. Please give yourself a +2 to crafting. You may tick both boxes to the right of crafting, giving you a +2 to your crafting. And I need to mark off a special thing for you. You are player 3 on my tracking sheet. And very appropriate is that tick off that I've just made there. What does this fabrial do? Is it a round fabrial that warms your hands when held? Is it a pair of sturdy boots that fasten without any need for laces? Is it a disc that glows like a candle when pressure is applied? Is it a lock that shows if it has been tampered with? An arrow-shaped fabrial that points always towards the Theylan city docks? Or a small storm clock which can be set to count down to a specific time? There are better fabrials. We will come to those later. This is just for the first step. I know we already know what cool fabrial you would like, Raph. That will be later.
I think it'll be the one that's emitting the light.
Absolutely. A disc that glows like a candle when pressure is applied. Please add a +1 to awareness, and I need to mark off a thing for you. Awesome sauce. You're inspecting your fabrial for damage when a spear-wielding enemy soldier in the red and brown tabard comes upon you. His eyes go wide when he sees the fabrial glowing in your hands, and he reaches for it. Do you run away and try to lose the soldier in the fray? Glare at or threaten the soldier so he knows to leave you alone? Grapple the soldier? Or beg and plead to be left alone? I know, some sick options, aren't there?
I think she's going to beg and plead.
Beg and plead. Please give yourself a +2 to persuasion and make a persuasion check for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
+2 to persuasion.
So there's two little boxes on the sheet. If you have a look.
Oh, there it is. Cool.
Yeah. It'll be underneath your intellect and willpower, I think, won't it? No, sorry, awareness and presence. All right, awesome. Yeah, please make me a persuasion check.
I will make you a persuasion.
DC is 10. So far, we're really not going well on these rolls, so I'm really hoping for a good one. Come on, baby.
How do I make the roll?
Click on the text, and then it'll come up with a box that says roll plot dice, yes or no. Make sure you've selected no from the drop-down box, and then click confirm.
I'm clicking on the text, and it's not...
The text of persuasion?
Yeah.
And then go to whatever browser you've got open, the pop-ups on that web browser.
Oh, that... Why don't I have an option for that?
Do you have the Roll20 page open? Like just the map on the...
I have the Roll20 pop-out character sheet open, which doesn't...
Yes, there'll be another page that you popped that out from that little thing will appear on.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, I know. It's back on the map. It's back on the banner, I should say. Let's change that image. I've got some more images of the soldiers. Would you like to see the soldiers rushing down the lines ready to attack? There we go. Intimidation 11. That is a pass. Hey, celebrate. We have another success. Describe how the soldier takes pity on you, please.
I think Neivien is going to be clutching the fabrial to her chest as she kind of almost crouches down in fear. Please, leave me alone. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. Take what you want. I'm just go away.
You watch as the soldier looks down at you. Probably not worth anything anyway. And rushes past you. please gain equipment, Minor Fabrial, that lights up when you press it. It is worth about 30 marks if you sell it. It is repaired, it is in good nick. So, that is the end of your first part of the journey, Neivien, which means we now move on to last and certainly not least, especially in the social hierarchy, Alaran. Ash. Let me guess, little whipping boy.
Yeah, well, you say that, but
run
towards center of camp sounded like putting myself in danger.
No, it's actually the safest part of camp. The soldiers are attacking on both sides of the camp. The center of camp is the safest part at the moment.
My thought was hunker down in the caravan and look for something to defend myself with, but not anything else. I think I'm going to run towards the center of camp to find Bright Lady.
Rallinet, yep. Let me do that. So this is one where if anyone picks this, I have to wait for everyone to do it together, and we do it all as a group. It is just Alaran doing this one, which means that we go through this as we start. The center of camp is in chaos. Soldiers in the Bethab uniforms run to the east, where the enemies first breach the caravan defenses. Other non-combatants scramble haphazardly between tents, trying to escape. In the commotion, no one questions your presence near Bright Lady Ralinat's command pavilion. Two people, a woman and a man, stand out as they move opposite to the mass exodus. The woman's long white hair marks her as Bright Lady Ralinat, her safe hand covered by the left sleeve of her lavender Hava dress. The man is her assistant, another Aelthi named Zindan. They enter the command pavilion, rummaging around and moving conspiratorially. They're discussing escape. Do you approach quickly and quietly to hear them more clearly, enter the tent and accuse Bright Lady Ralinat of treason against the Bethabs, enter the tent and offer your assistance to Bright Lady Ralinat, or wait and try and follow her at a distance to try and escape the ambush?
Alaran is fully committed to a course of action that she demands, and so I'm running in to offer assistance and also not anything more than really asking for rescue with her. She is the authority that I am.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Running in to ask for. Yeah,
I love that. Tall, stately Aelthi human with yellow eyes and intricately braided white hair, Ralinat, as she appears to you. Whereas Zindan, her companion, is an older Aelthi man with tan skin and black hair pulled back into a ponytail. As you rush into position, I've got a slightly rewritten version of this that I need to jump onto. Here we go. Okay.
Zindan, collect all the bromes, Bright Lady Ralinat hisses. I will destroy anything that could be used as evidence against me.
Yes, Bright Lady, comes the reply. It's at that moment, as you rush in, you watch as Bright Lady Ralinat turns around.
Well now, I could use some strong backs. 10 marks in advance for your service, she announces, handing you a sphere along with some heavy bags. And another one when we reach our destination. Now hurry, there's not much time. Please increase your presence or strength by 1 and gain 10 marks.
Okay.
So, do you...
I'm going to put that into presence.
Yep. Absolutely. Do you follow Bright Lady Ralinat into the chaos of battle, or suggest that you'll fare better if you split up and meet later?
No, I'm full obedient servant, following her. Like, she's in charge of this caravan. Everything tells me that I'm following her and we need to get out of here, and presenting this suggestion that I'm here to help. Like, let's get out. We've got to make sure we're safe.
Yeah, 100%.
Anything else?
Alrighty, let me mark that off for you. There's 2 things I need to mark really quickly. Could you please increase your speed and agility by 1?
Can do that.
And then I need you to make me an agility test, please.
Okay, cool. Let's do that. Roll apply test, no submit. Oh, well, that's good.
Is that another
That's a
natural
nat
20? What is
Yeah.
going on? Okay.
All that Alaran's like energy sitting in the like caravan, anxious and like, you know, rubbing knuckles and not knowing what to do with his energy.
Lot of nervous
fueled
energy.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give you an extra thing. Carrying your load, you follow Ralanat and Zindan through the shifting lines. As two attackers move to intercept, you call out for help. Ralanat looks back at you with cold, cruel eyes and turns away, using your predicament to cover her escape. Do you attack the soldiers, retreat from the soldiers, or surrender your heavily laden bag to them?
Okay, so in this situation, she's turned away. The soldiers have seen me with the
Yep,
bag
and
of
she's
goods.
basically used you as a distraction to get away.
Disappeared.
I know. The thing is, right, it's when we're not normally this railroady. In fact, we are the opposite of this, but because of the way this is written, unfortunately, even when you succeed, there are certain limitations.
That's okay.
In the published adventure, the
my
first step.
thought in this is that like I do not care about the 10 marks. I care about my safety and threat, and I care about the person who I was seeing as the authority. If they've now left me, I'm freaking out entirely. If they've disappeared and now there's a threat, I'm going to throw the bag, like almost at the soldiers and say, "Be gone!"
Nice.
Almost like have the money, get out of my face, and like
It's not just money. So she's given you the money as a reward, and then given you these two very heavy shoulder bags that you're carrying. It's up to you whether you want to try and hold on to those shoulder bags or just drop them and run.
I'm gonna drop them and run. I have no idea what this is, and I do not care if she's left.
Yeah, 100%. I need to mark off something else for you. And that one. Okay. Can you please give yourself a +1 to discipline and insight? You drop the heavy bag and run back into the furious battle. The two soldiers do not pursue you, but you do not gain Bright Lady Ralanat's heavily laden bag. We'll talk about that later. There were potentially some things that you could have got there, but no dice. So, we have gone through all of your scenes. We have resolved all of your sessions, which means we are now moving on to the next chapter, the next part of this. Despite the initial shock of the ambush, the soldiers of Houth Bethab are well trained. Thanks to your efforts in part, and thanks to the fighting for their lives, the remaining troops form a tight line, recollecting themselves and surging forward like a storm wall crashing into the ambushes. Reorganized and reinvigorated, the tide of battle shifts in favor of the orange-clad Bethab troops, and their enemies waver. Cheers go up among the Bethab caravan soldiers, their spirits buoyed as they mount a defense. So, this is a question for all of you once again, and you're each going to be making checks depending on these, and I will tell you the checks in advance this time. Do you say inspiring words to the troops, which is a persuasion check? Take the injured to cover for safety, which is a medicine check. Loot the fallen attackers for valuables, which is a thievery test. Rally troops and push forward to break the spirit of the attackers, which is a leadership test. Step in the way of an attacker trying to skewer a Bethab caravan soldier, which is a weaponry, heavy or light weapon test, your choice. Or check fallen enemies to make sure they aren't preparing a trap. This is an insight test. We're going to go in opposite order this time, so we're going to start with Alaran. Would you like to make a persuasion, medicine, thievery, leadership, weaponry, or insight test?
I'm actually thinking in that moment, his first instinct isn't to do anything directly himself, it is to instruct others to do so. So I think it's leadership in that moment.
Absolutely. Rally the troops and push forward to break the spirit of the attackers, or in your case, I guess like weaselly order them to just fight harder. Could I please have a leadership test?
There we go. That's exactly how it should be.
That is a 7. That is a failure. The soldiers barely hear you above the din of battle, and your voice is drowned out by the sounds of spears and swords clashing in the din. Sounds of men dying as pain-spren rise from the ground, orange hands clutching at the soldiers' feet. Neivien. Persuasion, medicine, thievery, leadership, weaponry, or insight test. Which would you like to make?
I think it's going to be persuasion.
Persuasion. Yeah. Say inspiring words to the troops.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I think she would be still well back from any of the fighting, perhaps even like half hiding behind a crate or part of a tent, and she's just going to be, yelling out things like, "Look out! Behind you! To your left!" Just things like that are possibly helpful.
Yeah.
And inspiring, but she's cowering in the background.
Perfect. Yeah, go for it. Let's get a persuasion check, please. There should be an insight test for this. Actually, we always need to yell out insight check at the top of our voices. One of the options in this, there is an insight. Apologies, there is an insight right at the very end. That's right, the fallen enemies, to make sure they're not preparing a trap. 19, Neivien. Fuck yes. Let me mark off something else for you. Your words are useful, not distracting in the slightest. The soldiers with their helmets, their peripheral vision is limited, and you are able to warn them of danger, often before they had even been aware of it. As the battle continues and as you begin to call out these directions, the soldiers find it incredibly useful. One even bowing to you, "Bright lady," as he thanks you for helping out. Alrighty. Ztar. Bit harder for you as a parshman, I know.
I've worked out what I'm going to do. So after having kind of aided in the retreat of those guys, I mean,
yeah.
Is there any doubt that these are still? Can I still believe these are bandits?
No, at this stage you're very confident.
They're in library.
Deserters? No, they're not. So they are in uniforms, and the uniforms are fairly well put together. It is still possible that these are deserters, but they are working. They are working very well and listening to orders. And
they're at least military trained.
Yeah, very much so. These are not just bandits; these are military trained men.
My question comes on whether or not I would be perceiving them as being legally wrong, or whether they would be following the orders of their commander, and thus from their point of view been acting within the bounds of the law.
These are men following orders. They're focusing on the guards. The merchants seem to be caught in the middle of this.
Okay. That's okay. Well, anyone caught in the middle of this attacking an innocent is against wartime law. So seeing someone about to be cut down, I think I'll take the weaponry test, and Ztar would kind of just keep doing what he's doing, step into them with that dagger he'd picked up, just slip that up under the breastplate into his or at least attempt to do so very, very subtly. I'll make the light weaponry test.
Alrighty, let me mark that off. So, could you please make for me a light weaponry test in that case? 15 is good. 15 is what you wanted. Let me mark that off as well. You get an extra thing for later. You guys are doing pretty well on the extra things.
Flip the blade up into his chest.
As you do so, the soldier who sort of sees you do this steps back in alarm. You watch as he mutters to himself, "Ain't never seen a parshman fight before, but thank you," as he then steps in front and resumes fighting.
I would slip the blade away as carefully as I can and did as much as I could to try to make him doubt that he
even saw it happen.
Maybe it's an accident.
Yeah.
Maybe just bumped into him. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Miki, Tom.
Seeing the soldiers being attacked, we start to form somewhat of a line, and I've got the guy on the back of his armor. And as someone lunges in for him, I pull him backwards, which then means the other person that's striking is exposed. I then short spear, dive in, and then go for a leg, go for an arm, something like that. So take a weapon attack.
Absolutely. So heavy or light, your choice.
Yeah, we'll go heavy.
Heavy, boom. With your big stick that you picked up, a big chul stick.
Ah, wonderful. I'm great at rolls today. That's a 6.
That's a 6. You watch as the massive wooden stick comes down, the soldier steps to the side, their short sword coming out, cleaving the stick in half as they step nimbly, cutting it open before shoulder checking you and knocking you back, Miki, as you stumble backwards. No special extra thing for you, unfortunately.
Yeah, fair enough.
Rav-eth, Matt.
Hello.
Would you like the options again, or are you good?
I'm pretty confident.
Sick.
Rav-eth just keeps doing what he's doing. He's already tended to some of the civilians. He's going to now tend to some of the guards and do a medicine check.
Absolutely. I need to mark off some things for you. Give me 2 seconds while I do that. And then while I'm doing that, could you please make for me a medicine check?
Ooh, that's a 6.
Oh my god. This is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Let me mark off your thing first. Spell and remembrance. This is less than ideal.
That's the fourth 6, by the way.
Yeah, that's nuts, isn't it? What is going on here, guys?
2 of them are mine.
2 of them are you've contributed quite a few of them, Tom. I just need to mark off yours again. You were making the weapon checks. That's protection and warrior. You play a 5, Tom? Yes. Oh, I think we know what you are, Tom. You have been very consistent in your selections all night. Rav-eth, as you go to push forwards, attempting to heal these people, pulling them out of the way, trying your best to look after them. The injuries are beyond what you can do in this place with the meager supplies that you have in the chaos of battle. And unfortunately, you watch as 2 more of the people succumb to their injuries. None of them calling out with those sort of weird prophetic words. But you do watch as nearby a soldier dies, and as his eyes go wide as he sort of scores his back, you hear him call out something in the din, something you can't quite hear. The rattles, it is called, the words that people exclaim as they die.
Probably just under my breath as I see a couple more people die around me, I just sort of, arms. It's not going well.
Gark, would you like the options again?
I'd very much like to continue helping civilians, please.
Perfect. Take the injured to cover... No, sorry. So your options are say inspiring words to the troops, take the injured to cover, loot the fallen attackers, rally troops, step in the way of an attacker, or check fallen enemies. Sounds like you're taking the injured to cover for safety.
Yes.
Perfect, Amundo. I will mark those off for you.
That was a medicine check, correct?
Yes, please. You've also been quite consistent as well, actually.
Hey, good roll.
14. I will mark a special extra thing off right now. As you begin to rally the troops, as you begin to call to the remaining merchants and caravan travelers, using your large muscular torso to help sort of protect them from some of the arrows still flying, as you drag them under cover, moving them behind one of the fallen wagons, bringing them to Rav-eth to be checked on medically. You were able to pull a lot of people out of danger. That is that. Above the din, a wordless battle cry rings across the chasm. All eyes turn to see an imposing figure, clad in black armor, standing at the ravine's southern end. A wicked blade coalesces from thin air in their hand, and the ground around their feet bubbles with red angersprin, like pools of blood rising around their feet. They bellow once more and launch themselves into the air. Their hulking form blots out what remains of the daylight as they land amidst the remaining Bethab caravan soldiers, scattering them like kremlings before a chasm fiend. The warrior walks forwards, stalking with supreme confidence, their shard blade passing effortlessly through the bodies. Corpses with smoking eyes litter the ground. The Bethab caravan soldiers stand no chance against a full shard bearer. Shard bearer in all their stormborn glory. It's because I was trying to change.
Shard trumpet.
I was trying to change the image at the same time, which was a big mistake for me. The figure standing before you that begins to move through the camp is a warrior clad in shard plate, wielding a shard blade. Unbreakable, passing through all matter in a single swing and severing the soul itself, a shard blade is the ultimate weapon. Wars have been fought over a single one. And this warrior wields not just the blade, but the plate as well. Nigh impenetrable armor from a time long since lost. The ways of making these things forgotten. There is no chance against a shard bearer. Do you run for cover, given the shift in battle? Nock an arrow to launch an attack despite the odds? Try to identify this new opponent and who they might be? Tend to the wounded despite the danger? Or call out for the remaining Bethab caravan soldiers to form on you? We're going to go back to front, starting again with Josh. Gark.
That thing scares the hell out of me. I still want to help the injured and try and at least get them out of here.
100%. I will mark off 2 more things for you. You are player 2 for this one. I think we know what your path's going to be, Josh. Alrighty. Next up, we have Matt.
Somebody does.
Matt. Run for cover,
yeah.
Nock an arrow, try to identify who this opponent might be, tend to the wounded, or call out to the soldiers to form on you.
Not going to form on me. Little old Rav. I would probably think at this point, like, Rav might have clocked Gark and is now like working along with Gark a little bit here, and probably, you know, realizing that maybe Rav is a little bit out of his like depth, not necessarily out of his depth, but like, you know, realizing that there's someone else who's actively helping the injured. I think Rav would sort of buddy up with Gark and start to, like, you know, help each other with the injured and trying to get them out of the way. You know, despite the fact that this shard bearer has just shown up and is, obviously a threat.
100%. I'll mark off those for you. Next up, Miki. Tom.
Fighting a shard bearer is not a good shot. Not a good shout. So he's going to just try and clock who this is. Your only defense here is trying to not anger them or appease them. So
could I please get you to make me a lore test?
I can do that.
Agent.
That'll be... yes, a natural 1.
Oh, no.
Okay. Tom, so far this session 0, you have not rolled a single success. When this happens, we use the fun coin system, coined by high rollers. Please re-roll your test.
Yay, this is more fun.
There is a point where the failure...
Oh, no. I have the devil's dice today. 666.
Wow.
Not another natural 1.
Could have been another natural 1.
That at least.
I could, but it's a dangerous precedent to just keep handing out rerolls. Unfortunately, Tom, the dice have spoken. You have no clue over who this is, what they're doing. Shard bearers are rare and storied. You do not know who this is, which makes sense. You're not an Aelthi. You might have studied some aspects of shard bearers, but you don't know who this is. Ztar.
It feels that he hates these people.
He does hate these people. You do know that. Ztar, Harrison, would you like the options again, or do you know what you're doing?
No, I know what I'm going to do.
Sweet.
a shard bearer mowing down people isn't justice, isn't honorable.
No.
I grab a short bow off a nearby corpse, pull an arrow from its quiver, and aim for the one weak spot on these, straight for the visor.
Yeah, nice. I just want to say, I know we had a little bit of a chat about some things. You are selecting molto bene. Molto bene for what you wanted.
Question, just for the immersion.
Yes.
Does Ztar do this, like, he's not, like, trying to hide that he's just...
There's so much confusion.
At this point? Yeah.
There's so much confusion though at this point. Everyone's focused on the shard bearer. It is not inconceivable that Ztar, like, the thing you got to remember, shard bearers, for the people of Roshar, they're like, in a way, vengeful gods on the battlefield. The shard plate imbues you with strength and speed beyond that of a normal man. The blade passes through things effortlessly. There is some part of your brain that does not accept what you see in front of you, even if you're used to shard bearers. It is this hulking creature moves too quickly, kills in a single strike, and when they do, the blade doesn't cut. It just passes through the neck of the person or the spine of the person, and you watch as they throw back their head, their eyes burn in their sockets, smoke rises from their head, and they drop to the ground like a puppet with their strings cut. Yeah. This is awful to watch. And the shard bearer isn't just cutting down the Bethab soldiers. He occasionally gets some of his own. It does not slow him or stop him. This is awful, what you are witnessing. It would grab the eye and grab the attention. Ztar, you have not unveiled or revealed yourself in this moment as you knock the arrow.
Like Matt was saying, I'm not particularly trying to conceal myself at this point. That's kind of gone out the window. I'll deal with the consequences and make up whatever excuses I can after the fact. So I rolled moving faster than anyone would have seen a parchment go with more intent if they were paying attention to me, which, like you said, I doubtful anyone was. Grab that short bow.
Nah, bro. The people who aren't watching the shard bearer are bleeding out right now because Rav-eth is sort of standing there with a roller bandage going, what the fuck do I do with this? Unable to. Neivien, would you like the options again, or are you G to G?
But do I roll?
No, you don't need to roll. This one, I just mark off secret stuff for this one. It is an automatic success. Neivien. Raph. You've forgotten your character's name, haven't you?
I did. Hello.
Would you like the options again, or are you good to go?
No. Neivien, I don't even think that she would have seen anyone die before today. She hasn't been in anything like this. She knew sort of what she was getting into coming to the plains, but nothing like this. So the first option's to hide, right?
Run for cover, given the shift in battle.
Yeah. So she's already partially in cover, hiding behind crates and things. I think she's going to like scuttle down and like try and shimmy under a wagon and just hide under a wagon.
As you crouch down under the wagon, you watch as small twisting black crosses begin to rise above your head, Neivien. Anxiety spren. You've not really seen them many times before. Fear spren. Globules of violet, almost like a violet liquid, begin to rise around your feet. You are drawing spren that you've never drawn before. And at that moment, you feel very small, very frightened, very aware of your mortality. Alaran, run for cover, knock an arrow, identify who this person might be, tend to the wounded, or call out to the remaining Bethab caravan soldiers to form on you.
After failing to inspire the troops, seeing this figure come up, everything in Alaran should be to run away, but the shard bearer is something of interest to him and something that he is experienced and knows about. And so I would love to be able to make a lore check towards identifying this shard bearer as like Orspren is starting to form around me and seeing that representation on the hill coming towards us as the ideal of who I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. Let's do it. Lore check, please. Unnatural 20. Alaran. Excellent. Let me mark off a secret thing for you.
Thank you.
You're all over the shop, mate, with your decisions. I've almost marked one in every single box for you. Everyone else has got at least 2 or 3. For you, it's just all over the fucking shop.
Chaos and impulse, sure.
But it kind of makes sense because you don't really know who you are or what you're supposed to be. So if anything, this is actually very in character for you, Alaran. The attacker stands in stone stance. The armor looks like it's been painted over. You can see yellow peeking through where the armor has been scratched. You may add an expertise, either dueling conventions or high society.
That's cool.
In addition, the shard plate that you see, you know that it likely belongs to a loyal member of Thanadil's inner circle, which means that the person wearing this, most likely the bearer, is one of High Prince Thanadil's loyal retainers, loyal warriors. Or could even be one of his family if it is his own plate and blade. This is not desertion. This is not a random attack. This is a planned military exercise. Alrighty. The armored warrior leaps once again, shard blade pointed skyward, their plate propelling them towards their destination. A rough-hewn wall built atop the cliff at the northern edge of the canyon. They slash downward in a vicious arc, cutting through the wooden wall with a single stroke. A low rumble quickly becomes a cacophony as huge stones crash into the gorge. "Run!" someone yells. Without mercy, rocks pulverize the caravan's last defenders. Painspren erupts from the ground, latching onto any of the Bethab caravan soldiers who don't perish in the brutal trap. And I have another piece of art for this particular section. Let me grab it open now. How good is it having all this like sick art of people just dying constantly to the shard bearers?
That's awesome. Love that.
I love the first step. This is such a good session, Zero. So we're gonna go back in reverse order once again. We love just actually no. Let's continue this. With these quick ones, it kind of makes sense to carry them around. Josh, Gark, you got 4 options. Drag a fallen merchant out of harm's way. Focus on escaping despite the many injured people around you. Sacrifice your own safety to cover a wounded soldier who is about to get trampled in the chaos, or call out to the panicked survivors and lead them to freedom. Or safety, even.
I think it's gotten to the point now where between myself and Rav, we've been gathering up injured, and I think I'll go for the final option to try and get them out of here now, and hopefully try and grab Neivien on the way.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna do Gark and Rav-eth together, Miki and Ztar together, and Neivien and Alaran together, because you kind of are naturally grouping up with your decisions, which makes things real easy for me. So Rav-eth, as Gark begins to gather the injured, what would you be doing during this time? Same sort of thing?
I see like Gark sort of gathering up the injured, trying to lead them out. I think like he in this moment, or they in this moment, will realize that maybe there's an opportunity to keep applying medical assistance to those who desperately need it. Probably identifying those who are like the most injured, and just like, despite the fact that obviously there's this impending threat, they'll keep attending to them as best they can.
Perfect. Okay, so I will mark off 2 secret things for you. That's an easy one for you, Josh. Now you're all over the shop, mate. What's going on? And then Matt, trying to get people to safety. That would be this one. Alrighty. Miki and Ztar. Those options again: drag a fallen merchant out of harm's way, focus on escaping, sacrifice your own safety to cover a wounded soldier, or call out to the panicked survivors and lead them to safety.
I think Miki would grab one of the merchants and pull them into safety.
Cool.
So right now we're in recovery here and just try and take those that he can.
Awesome. Ztar?
Some options were pull someone to safety.
Yeah, drag a fallen merchant out of harm's way, focus on escaping, sacrifice your own safety to protect someone, or call out to the panicked survivors and lead them to safety. I am open to you adding a fifth option because none of these really suit Ztar. So, and I'll figure out what that would be for you.
Yeah, look, I think at this point, yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd sacrifice my safety, but I probably would continue to try and. Look, I've identified these people as coming in to do wrong.
Yeah.
My goal is to stop them and or failing to stop them, more accurately bring them to justice and punish them for it. So
yeah.
I guess the sacrifice my safety is there. If I can protect someone while I'm doing it to stop that crime, I will do so.
I've got another option for you.
My focus is to stop the perpetrator.
If you like, if you want to make I'd say this probably falls under. Let me have a quick peekaroo. I've got another option for you. If you wanted to make a perception check, to see if you could recognize any other details about these soldiers that you could then use to help bring them to justice later, I'm more than happy to have you roll that.
Yeah, I'd take that.
Done. And I know exactly what I'm going to give you for that.
Hot 4 is what you're going to give me.
Hot 4. Cool. In the chaos of the battle, there's too much going on, and eventually you have to abandon your attempts to try and pay attention to what's going on around you. I'll mark off a thing, but nothing else. Neivien and Alaran. Neivien, do you want those options again, or are you good to go? That's you, Raph. You're still Neivien. You picked this name.
I know that's going to take some getting used to for some stupid reason. I'm sorry for starters.
It's very funny.
Yeah, Neivien is just in a terrified panic. She's not
Get out of there.
worrying about others. She's fully expecting that she's about to die. So she does not think that she has the capacity at all to help anyone, even in herself. So she's just fleeing.
Please increase your willpower by 1 for just giving up on everyone and just piecing out of there like a little bitch.
Hell yeah.
Some of these options seem to reward cowardice. Is all I'm saying. In the book.
Yeah, like the abandoning the packs and not doing your job got you disciplined. Like,
it's pretty funny. Alaran.
That is rather funny.
In that situation, there's only one thing to do against a shard bearer, and realizing the significance of what this means, like conflict between houses of strategic attack. I'm running. Escape.
Yeah.
I'm probably running past Neivien and,
to be just running together
in like a cry for help, and I pat her away and
just push her into the ravine.
Like, not sacrifice her or use her as a shield, but yeah,
you pick her up and throw her at the shard bearer and then run away.
Yeah.
Please give yourself a +1 to willpower.
Using her with arrows.
Yeah, but you get a +1 to willpower out of this. I'm not sure why, but you do according to the rules that I have in front of me.
Wow.
Instead of sanity, could you
feels
have cowardice as a stat?
Yeah, I'm tempted to add cowardice as a custom stat. Brave Sir Alaran ran away. It's in his name. Ala ran away. Oh, that's what your enemies call you. Ala ran away is going to be your nickname amongst the other high princes. Fucking
Ala ran away.
Ala ran away. With the trap sprung to deadly effect and the caravan boxed in, neither the enemy shardbearer nor their troops stay to witness the attack's aftermath, callously abandoning any survivors to their fate. Only faint moans and fretful clicks are heard now, a stark contrast to the recent tumult of combat. So, we are hilariously only halfway through the session 0 for Echoes of Honor for the first step, which means that at this point, as we are reaching the second major milestone for things to happen, I'm wondering if maybe we do wrap up here for tonight, because that is exactly 2 hours, and we come back next week and we do our session 0 across 2 different episodes. I will, however, leave you with some information based upon your choices so that you have a chance to kind of reflect and act. I will give you each, we'll go in order, and I will give you each an option of what I reveal. And then you will have that information to take forward into the second part of our session 0, which we'll do next week. What I'll do is, rather than calling this session, I'll just call these episodes 1 and 2. Otherwise, my naming for these episodes is going to be a bloody nightmare on the podcast. So let's start with Josh. I can reveal to you either which heroic path you have most embraced with your choices, or which ideal you have most embraced with your choices. Your choice. So heroic paths are heroic path. Yeah. So these are kind of like the classes in D&D. Josh, you have only selected one heroic path the entire time. All of your points are currently in the scholar pathway, which is probably not what you were expecting. Certainly not what I was expecting. But all of your choices fall under the scholar pathway, specifically one arm of it. But we'll keep that for later. And it's not the Art of Fabrian, if you were wondering. Matt, ideal or heroic path?
I want to do heroic path as well.
Heroic path. You have been a little bit more all over the shop. You have also mostly selected scholar, but it is a very close thing. You've also put a few points in 2 other areas as well, and you're only 1 ahead in scholar. The others are all even behind.
Right. Interesting.
Tom, Miki, ideal or heroic path? Ideal is what attracts Spren. Heroic path. Are we all going heroic path tonight? I suspect.
Well, hang on. I mean, if it's Spren related, then we will go the ideal.
So yeah, Miki, as an Unkalaki, you have a special relationship with the Spren. Same as Ztar, you have special relationship with Spren. Different relationships. Ideal, the ideal that you have selected the most. So this is going to be kind of leading towards which Spren might have taken notice. The ideals are freedom, justice, potential, protection, remembrance, secrecy, self-mastery, tenacity, or truth. You have selected protection more than any other. Yeah, which does make sense. Ztar, heroic path or ideal? You are muted, but I think I saw you say heroic path.
I said ideal, actually. Ideal.
I cannot lip read. It is a failing of mine. You have selected very consistently justice, which is not hard. You've used the word justice multiple times, so it's pretty easy to guess. Not far behind is protection for you. And I should say for Tom, tenacity is not far behind for you. That was your next most selected. Neivien. Raph.
I remembered my name, and I want to know what path I'm heading down.
Heroic path. Okay. You have selected cowardice every single time. No. You have selected, ironically, envoy most, but closely followed by agent and scholar. Pretty close behind. Alaran. Ash.
As a lost boy myself, I'm trying to work out which heroic path that I'm most aligned with. I know I'm not attracting any Spren with cowardice yet.
All of them. You've selected one in each. Agent, envoy, hunter, leader, scholar, and ironically warrior as well.
That's
That's how we do it, guys.
Yeah. So at the moment, no is the answer. You've achieved nothing with this session 0 in terms of clarity about what path you should take. You've rolled the natural 1 equivalent. Oh my goodness. Awesome sauce. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. This is part 1 of our session 0. It'll still be called episode 1 because otherwise the podcast struggles with naming conventions, and Spotify doesn't do proper episode season alignment things anyway, which is really annoying. Most other podcast platforms do, but Spotify is still lagging behind there. So I will keep this as, we'll have this as the 2-parters of first ep, but it'll still be called episode 1 and episode 2, just to make life easy. Thank you so much for joining us for our very special start of the Cosmere RPG. How have you guys found it so far? Pretty sick, right?
Yeah, it's been great.
We've not even used like 50% of the mechanics. The skills I find really cool. Once we start adding in like the heroic dice and what you can do with that, like the plot dice and things like that, we're going to have so much fucking fun. And when I show you the items that you can add, so I'm keeping track of these things called resources, which you will convert into things you might need later. I'll give you access to the items during that session. And yeah, there's some really cool stuff. So yeah, that is all we have time for tonight, unfortunately, everybody. We will see you all again next time. I think actually this is good. Rather than rushing through this, doing this at a nice slow pace was worth it. I always was going to split this in half. I was always going to do that. This wasn't just something I'm doing now. So for those of you watching on Twitch, don't go anywhere. We are going to go and raid a lovely friend of the channel, which means we're going to go across and raid RollTogether RPG, who should be streaming tonight. Josh, correct? Yes.
We are indeed, yes.
Chronicles of Erdrin. I'll get that raid loaded up for everybody else, especially those of you watching on YouTube. Thank you so much. If you would like to see more of the Cosmere RPG, I've got some great news. You're going to see fuckloads more of it. We are doing a very long form campaign called Echoes of Honor. There is a lot more to come. Remember, click the like button to run away from your problems. Press the subscribe button to remove the arrow from the back of your companion, allowing them to bleed out in front of you. And most importantly of all, cower beneath the caravan as your companions try their best to save your worthless, infantile, pathetic life by hitting the subscribe button. And that is how you help us out tonight. We will see you all again next time. Until then, stay safe, stay well, and see you guys all again next time. Farewell, goodbye, mwah. See you guys later. Bye.